Thanks for coming on, man. So Marshall, introduce yourself. Tell me about you, man.
Back in the day, bro. Is it that long ago? No. So it was, so my name is Marshal Strang. I've been selling real estate since I was 19. Everybody asked me how I got started in real estate. So I didn't know anybody. I started doing a lot of jobs and then I was working at the airport, applied for a part-time job, making $1,000 a week doing sales for the Fresno Bee. And that's when I found sales, and then I found self-development, and I've just been on this personal growth path for some time now. And now I spend about 3 to 4 hours a day reading and listening and trying to get better. So in real estate, I worked for Syntex Homes, D.R. Horton. I worked for Guarantee Real Estate, top agent in California in 2018, sold 150 homes with 4 brand new agents and myself that I taught. So from there, I started buying homes and doing other things, over leveraged a couple times since then, learning that people say it's a bad idea to over leverage, but you find out who you are when you do too much and you end up hitting rock bottom a couple times. So through all that, 2018 was probably one of the biggest years. And then in 2020, I sold 70 homes on my own without any assistance or anything.
70 homes in a year?
This is with COVID and no assistant, me locked up in my house selling 70 homes in 8 months. 8 months. So I stopped. I got kicked out of my house in October of 2020. So in 8 months, I sold 70 homes. And that's when my life changed. And I have 2 children that are 6 and 8. So for me, just becoming the best version of myself every day is always the key. So with real estate, I love real estate because of financial freedom. And I love teaching people how to do that. And I've gotten more into coaching, personal developing people, because selling homes is easy. What keeps people from buying homes is their mindset. Yeah. So, you can take somebody out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them in a way. Yeah. And you really can. It's just, it'll never be gone, but you can always go back to that. But becoming a better version of yourself, you end up losing people and going through a lot of trials and tribulations.
Most people are their own demise.
100%. You are your worst enemy, bro. You are your worst enemy. So the 6 inches right here is what I work on every day. So I'll be buying 1,000 doors, selling 1,000 homes, flying around on a jet. Like, these are things that, and it's not about bragging or like, honestly, it was hard for me to ever even say those things. But the more I develop myself and realize that to become the man that I was created to be, I need to go through things that I never fathomed. So all the hard stuff in life is really what gets you to where you need to be. So when the struggles come, this is like what's good, right? So everybody runs away from the storm, but I think there was a story about a cow and a bull. Cow runs from the storm, a bull runs into it, because if you run into it, you get out quicker. And I've always believed that, so I don't like comfort too much. I'm constantly getting uncomfortable. So with that being said, I love real estate. I've really just been coachable, and the reason I really want to coach people and serve people is because until Syntex Homes trained me, I would have been a statistic like most agents that get their license, 97% never sell a house. Yeah. So 6 months, I did one hard money loan. I actually was doing loans and real estate. And I got into real estate because I like numbers, and then I realized I like people more. So I like moving around, like having challenges and not just sitting there looking at paperwork. So I love real estate. I want to serve people, help people. At the end of the day, like you said, man, people are their own worst enemy. So once I could see the ego come out in somebody, man, they're pretty much helpless until they really want to kill that ego and start doing hard things like taking cold showers, growing, getting uncomfortable. If somebody isn't willing to do those things, then they're not going to go anymore.
Setting their alarm at 5 a.m., just little things.
Yeah, or 2:45 or 3, just always pushing it, bro. Always pushing it. Yeah, 2:45 is the best time you can wake up, my friend. Yeah. 2:45. Wes Watson preaches about that a lot, but a
lot of religious people talk about that too.
Bro, energy,
you're supposed to pray at 3 a.m. because that's when the veil is the thinnest between us and God. And it's funny, every religion has the same rules though. Bro. And I'm like, how do you guys all have the same rules, but you guys are 1,000 miles away from each other?
If you want to feel it for yourself, bro, start doing it. I just did it just to push myself. It was 4 a.m. since 2018. I've been doing 4 a.m. 2:45, bro. Man, you end up going to bed at 8 o'clock. I don't do it every day like Wes Watson does, because he's.
So you're on that Mark Wahlberg schedule, bro. I'm getting up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, he's my next. He's Wes Watson, Andrew Tate, man. These are guys that I look up to in a way because they've been through more. They're They're the men I want around me if I'm going through something, because they're hard ass motherfuckers, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I want.
Well, and people can say what they want about Andrew Tate, but they usually are watching a 10-second snippet of something he said in an hour long. And some of the stuff I don't agree with him. I'm like, it's a little old school for me, but 90% of what he says, being tough, getting off your ass, no one's coming to save you. He's like the hardcore David Goggins.
Yeah,
for like, you know what I mean?
He's like a watered down.
Business,
he's like
business.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that reference, bro. David Goggins is extreme in one thing.
Yeah,
Andrew Tate's extreme in everything he does. Yeah. Like I feel like he's more organized.
Yeah,
he's more what's the word? Balanced.
Yeah.
But
him and his brother are a perfect duo, because his brother's a little more chill. Andrew just goes hard. It's like, you guys are like the perfect
I'm Andrew,
duo,
bro.
man.
Like, I feel like I need someone in my life. I usually put people around me right now. My circle is very small, but a few people, they're all more chill.
Yeah.
Because I realize I need that around me, because I'm more.
Yeah.
Let's go take the city.
Yeah. Let's go buy everything downtown and don't look back. And
speaking of that, I bought 7 homes and so a quick little.
Well, that's why I brought that up, because I know that you're on a roll right now. That's why I brought that up.
So in 2018, I served 8 people that year, and I bought 8 homes with $80,000. And then I got in a 3-year hole where I was raising money. And I've never borrowed money in my life because I was poor. Mm-hmm. And it was a pride thing. So raising money taught me that money is basically energy. It's fire. It's gasoline on the fire. So I want to raise $1 billion. I want to spend billions of dollars. I want to do this all, not about the money though, just to grow, because it's the pressure. Like, people think stress is bad. Stress is good. Stress is however you take it. If you think it's bad and you run from it, every time something stressful happens, you're gonna go away from the storm. Mm-hmm. So if you go through the stress and you grow from it, you can handle more and more. Yeah. And Andrew Tate talks about that all the time, is that the more if you want to make money, handle stress, take away people's problems. And that's really how I become successful, is because I was never good at anything growing up, man. Honestly, with sports, there's always better people, but I was always competitive. So I learned a work ethic to get stuff done and keep my word on whatever I say I'm going to do. I do, which is huge. And as soon as you don't see me hanging around somebody, it's because they don't keep their word. For my circle, they have to keep their word, because that's everything. If you break your word, I can't trust. I want to trust you with everything if you're around me. So that's what I've learned.
Most of us don't have time for it. You know, it's like I don't got time for that, bro. And you just slowly start getting away from people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, 100%. But people are their habits. So if you want to know somebody, watch their habits. And the biggest one takeaway from a life storm, people will show you who they are. Believe them. And for me, I always try to turn people into more than what they are. You know, like I'm always trying to. So that's something I've learned throughout time. But so, anyways, 2018, challenging 3 years, made it through. Then I make it through by selling the 70 homes, raising more money, and then I ended up getting kicked out of my house, which was a side. Had no didn't know what happened.
Wait, how do you sell 70 homes and then get kicked out of your house?
So I had allegedly put my ex on title with solar. We had a ceremony, but we were never legally married, because with marriage, we'll say that for another topic.
Okay.
But there's ways to get people kicked out when you want to set them up on. At the end of the day, that's another story. But basically, I get kicked out.
Okay.
And didn't get arrested or anything, but I got kicked out. And it took me 8 months to get my kids. So I've been through all these storms and trials, man. And all it's taught me, man, is that through the storm, I'm with God at the most. And I smile through the storms now. You'll never know if I'm going through something. And I'm always going through something. There's always something that if I told you 10 of the things I'm dealing with right now, most people would be like, dude, oh my God, I can't believe it. But it's
so you were dealing with that and selling 70 homes at the same time? No,
so I sold 70 homes. I got kicked out. I stopped selling homes. Allegedly, the market got really slow, and I was focused more on investing.
Yeah.
So my brain is very resourceful. When somebody attacks me, I only know how to go to war. I'm working on choosing my battles, but for me, my children are everything. My family was everything. So when somebody attacked that, for whatever the reason was for them to do that, the truth always comes out. But at the end of the day, I did what was best. Most people would have just paid the money that people were saying I should have paid, the government and everything. But at the end of the day, I was allegedly wrongfully, kicked out of my house. Mm-hmm. So my kids were taken from me. I had to fight for all this. So in my eyes, somebody was doing it for money. So for me, I've had a lot of Jesus talk on this, because for me, I know God wanted me to just basically, I should have just paid the money and not let it affect me. That's what I learned from it. But I fought the war, and I paid exactly what I offered to pay, which was reasonable, $1,500 a month versus $5,200 a month, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if somebody, in my opinion, had kids for a living, because the government allows them to do that, then I just did what I had to do. So basically, I invested. I made a bad move buying 7 homes in 1 week in Missouri. The reason it was bad, so the rates were 3-4%. Remember this, guys? So there was nothing to buy in Fresno, so I made the best move on the board. What happened was rates went up.
Stuff out of state. Tennessee was growing. A lot of people were.
And I'm going to tell you a huge thing to know. If you're an investor and you're looking to buy stuff out of state, I've been telling people this. I didn't know this until I made the wrong move. And I actually, about a year later, I heard another real estate guy talk about this. And he learned it from someone and didn't do it. But when you buy out of state, you want to buy 50 to 100 doors at a time. You don't want to buy individual. But for me, what happened was the rates went up 5 points. I had a 12-month hard money loan, or a bridge loan, that I had $100K in the bank when I bought and I spent the $200 on buying these properties. I had investors, I had other things going on, other properties. However, when the market changed, and I was told by this bridge loan that I could get another 12 months, and then I couldn't, and then contractors fell through, everything that happened. My truck got totaled out of state, insurance didn't pay for it. Everything that could have happened to go wrong went wrong, but I made it. Everybody around me told me to file bankruptcy, and now I've learned a little bit more about bankruptcy. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about this, but because Donald Trump did it like 7 times or something. But I probably should have filed bankruptcy, because bankruptcy delays you from paying it. So I probably could have kept everything. I didn't know what I didn't know. So for a tip, if you're thinking about filing bankruptcy and you push through it, look into bankruptcy, because there may be a way to delay it to not. So I basically lost $1 million.
Well, a lot of people don't realize there's different types of bankruptcy. There's like 5, 11, 7. There's always different types. And I don't know a ton about that, but I know some of our clients, sometimes you can almost leverage it. If you have your own capital, because remember, if you file bankruptcy, you're not getting any loans, you're not getting anything. But if you have money tucked away in other areas, it's like, all right, you know what? Let's let this go. I'll sell this. I got my own leverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Trump was going to do that during this lawsuit.
When people hear that, they're like, oh, he lost everything.
He just leveraged. He used it to his leverage. He was smart. I didn't look into it enough, so I ended up not filing bankruptcy, and I just
you got to strategically use it though, because then it's going to be there for a while, and
100%.
Got to have your own capital for certain things.
yeah. And I actually have filed bankruptcy back in the day, and this is another story, but a bad partnership, and I did it out of pride. Every bad move I made, 2 bad moves was out of pride, and but family was one, man. And at the end of the day, I don't think pride is always a bad thing. They say pride cometh before thy fall, but sometimes you need to be prideful and fight for what's right. And at the end of the day, I feel like what I went through with my kids and everything, it just got me stronger, and it taught me I'm willing to do what it takes to fight a good cause, and most people aren't. And this day, I'm sure we'll talk more about this, but that's where the society is coming so weak, and people just do what's easy. So I'm willing to do the hard shit. And basically, when you say back in the day, so I started focusing more on investing, self-developing, and coaching when I was getting attacked for $60,000 a year. So that's where I went. Now I'm coming back, and I'm coming back as a different man. I'm coming back 100%. I'm not the same person I was. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen, and I'm starting to say things out loud, because words are powerful, man. So when I say 1,000 doors, I ran into a girl today at the gym who's really big in real estate, and she's we're talking about doors, owning doors. I say, I'm going to have 1,000 here pretty soon. And she's like, how the hell? And I'm like, because it only takes 20, 50 plexes, So you just partner up with some people, and most people aren't willing to do. Most people are scared of doing everything. Yeah. And that's the reason they don't grow. So if you get that 4-letter word, which in the Bible is that the biggest sin is fear. And all you guys live in fear every single day. I fear nothing. Yeah. I fear no man. I fear God. And that's all I fear.
Yeah. Well, like that, you made me think of something, because earlier when you were talking about coaching and we were talking about why people do what they do, they usually are afraid, or they just don't know. And most people are afraid of the unknown. If you don't know what's behind door number 3, you're not going to open it. People are, children are afraid of the dark because they don't know what's over there. Bro. But when you get it, and that's when you were telling me that's why you want to coach, because you've gone through the trials and tribulations, and it's never failure. It's now I know what to do and what not to do.
If you lose $1 million, you'll make 10 million.
If I can teach someone,
that's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Like it's just a lesson, bro. It's 100%.
And that was what was interesting when you said, I want to coach now. Because you told me all these things you went through, and then the next thing after that was, I want to coach. And I'm like, that's cool that you want to teach people that. Because if I had a mentor teach me in the very beginning what insurance companies to go with, who not to go with, don't buy leads from these people. Don't spend a year learning from these people because you're not this and you need to learn the basics first. If I could come to you and say, how do I get, a bunch of rentals under me, and then a couple years later, I'm running it, I might file for bankruptcy. Well, in your YouTube training or whatever it was, you went through bankruptcy. What did you learn? Well, do this one, not this one, because I'll tell you, from this bankruptcy, it'll affect this. Man, if you don't have a coach or a lawyer retained or someone to be like, hey, what do I do before I go sign this? Because once I sign this, it's over. So that's why I thought it was funny when you said first you told me about all the stuff you went through, and then the second thing right after that is I want to coach and teach people. And I was like, that's powerful, man. Because most people will be like, I just want to live my life, get these doors closed, get these duplexes under my name.
Average, bro. Boring.
I don't have time to teach you. It's like, no, I want to help people. I went through a lot of shit. Now I want to help you not go through the same shit I did.
Wes Wassa says this: I want to become the man that I needed when I was a kid, and I kind of stole it because I've said things similar, but really that's really reality. This book I read, Universal Law, the one thing I took away from the whole book was become the best version of yourself and give them to the world. Mm-hmm. And that is what everybody's purpose is. Everybody, we're all born to max out your value, not to be comfortable and live in mediocrity. But that at the end of the day, the more trials you go through, I think you get to a point, we were talking about this off camera, but the more fights you go through in life, the stronger you build your courage muscle. And everybody has a choice. Everybody's had a choice to be in a fight, but I say about 95% of people have never been in a fight in their lives. And so they've never cared enough to get uncomfortable and take that swing. At the end of the day, it's not about being a tough guy. It's about going through things you need to go through to find out who you really are, because we're all a better version. I should be farther along than where I'm at, so once I die to my ego, then I keep growing. But
like you said though too, that can backfire sometimes. You build too much muscle, now you got ego, now you got pride, I can't fail, and then you get ahead of yourself and you're like, oh damn,
kind of like I did 7 homes in a week.
too much weight on the bridge, and it collapsed.
So the reason, I analyze everything. My dad's a computer programmer.
But now you've balanced that. Like, okay,
I'm working on it, man. 100% working on it, because there's good and bad from all of it. So most people never push themselves to find out what they can handle. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I've pushed myself beyond measure, and the table, rates went up 5%, which never happened in history. I was protected until rates went up. So no matter what, no one could have projected that. That basically took out like $100K out of my equity out of every property by them going up overnight.
And I want to talk about that in a minute. I want to talk about rates, because we're going through a huge transition right now.
Yeah. So, but what came, so you'll never know what you're capable of unless you push the envelope too far. Yeah. I don't want to do that, but there's going to be times I'd rather do that. I look back at what I've been through the last 2 years, and I would not trade it for anything. The money's easy. And you'll never say that until you make and lose $1 million. So once you do that, bro, you realize money's easy. It's trust, character, integrity. Those are the things. So in order for me to teach people, I need to be vulnerable. And my ego has died so much that, and the Bible talks about Jesus, die to your human self. And I feel like I do my best to do that every single day, every challenge I get through, because the more you do that, the more you grow and the more you can teach people. But at the end of the day, we're all here. We're all connected, in my opinion, to serve and help each other. So even the bad stuff that comes at you, I say thank you. For my haters, for everybody that attacks me, I say thank you. They're going through stuff that I can't imagine, their ego, their insecurities, jealousy, all these other things that they're going to one day learn. But I need them in my life to work on my patience and myself. So at the end of the day, we're all here to serve each other. So I just smile at everything. If you can walk through hell and you can smile on the way through it, no one can take that away from you.
Yeah. Like so now.
Sorry, I got sidetracked.
No, I was going to say, I got so many questions for you. I don't know where to start. It'd be like a 3-hour podcast. But the rates then versus now. Because I was reading something the other day that even said like rates back like in the 70s were like 28%. But it's like, wait, but the house was only like
11,000 or something. Right?
Yeah, but a house was like 50 grand. So a 28% mortgage rate, it's like, okay, that makes sense. That's not, now when you have a $500,000 home, 3 to 6% is a big difference. So how did that, what affected you then? And like, to what's going to happen now? What do you think's happening now?
I made my decisions based off history. Real estate's never increased rates more than 0.5% a year. As far as I know, that's the norm. If they go up or down, 0.5% 6 months. So never in history have they gone up 5%. So I feel like God put me in that position no matter what. And they say that there's really no mistake. God's got it all figured out. But at the end of the day, I was going to go through this trial because God's got more plans for me. The more hard stuff you go through, the more he has for you. So when you're going through hard times, say thank you, because that means he's bringing me more. You just got to go through that storm. But rates. So national average interest rate for the last 90 years is 6.3%. So that's how I factor in my decision. So when I'm sitting on $3-4 million worth of property, I can tell you how much I'm going to make in 5 years. Like, this is what I'm going to make. I pull that out. I never pay taxes. So it's risk-free money, really. The only problem you have is with tenants. So as long as you keep cash flow and you keep safety net, 3 to 6 months for every property you own, there's no losing with real estate. But interest rates are getting affected by them printing money. So when they print money, inflation, which they say they have it under control, they say it's 3.5%.
When you print money, you don't have anything under control.
Correct. And so here's the thing. The poor people out there, everybody that's the hardworking individual that's never going to get financially free. It's not about being poor, it's about having freedom. But if you want freedom, you have to own real estate, or you have to have a business, or you have to work 3 jobs. I mean, you can't even get rich working 3 jobs. Even
or you invest and have your money working for you
invest
while you're
in yourself,
sleeping.
Yes. But at the end of the day, real estate was the safest move. And Grant Cardone's got a twin brother out there. So,
I love that dude.
Yeah. So Grant's more safe. Grant chose real estate. His brother chose stock market. I'm a risk taker, but I also look at the best move on the board. And real estate is the safest thing you can do. So with interest rates, when they went up, your equity got taken from you. If they wouldn't have gone up, the prices of homes, if you reverse the payment, so every $90, it used to be $70 a year ago. Every $90, every $10,000, the house price goes up or down, $90 payment. It used to be $70, now it's $90 because of the rate. Thank you, printing money. I like this though. So what people don't realize is if you want to win, do what the winners do. Buy real estate. You can do it poor. You can buy homes without money, and I've been doing that too.
Yeah.
Subject to seller financing. With $0, I bought duplexes, triplexes.
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki, go get debt. Go get someone else's debt.
I want $1 billion
go
of debt.
invest. And even though you're always in debt, you always have that income coming in.
I know
it's not even your money.
Yeah, I know 60 and 70-year-old clients that have millions of dollars in their equity, and they're still broke as hell.
Yeah.
They're still running around with their heads cut off, paying bills. I don't have money, but you have like $2 million in equity. Why don't you pull some out, put in more properties and do? But they, I don't know, it's a lot. I'll pay off a house for $450 and rent it for $2,400 a month. It's the dumbest thing you can do, people. So, and I say this with love. I try to teach people, but at the end of the day, my only obstacle is the ego, and that's why I'm like a psychology major. I've read thousands of books now, so I constantly read books. And going through high school, I didn't read a book at all because nothing they were teaching me in school made sense to my logical mind.
Yeah,
history, all this. What did I get? No, I want to make money. So that was I was selling candy in school because I grew up poor. So it's like I wanted to make money and figure out. Get free. I want money, family equal happiness in my childhood blueprint. Yeah. So then you go through all that and you hit rock bottom. You realize there's a bigger picture and it's serving each other, helping each other, and not everybody wants to be helped. And that's the biggest thing and I had to learn to walk away from people that I wanted it more than they wanted it. And that's the hardest thing for me is I'm like, why don't you want it?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you? Oh, you're scared.
Well, that's why they need a coach though. 100%. That's why you need a coach, because if you give me, like, I actually want to coach agents. Once I build up my agency, I want to have like a YouTube breakdown. You just watch these 8 videos for 8 hours. I'm going to tell you everything I've learned in 10 years in these 4 hours. If I have a coach that says, like, for example, like you said, there's so many different ways to get these investments, to get these homes. You could borrow money, you could do hard cash, you can go get some debt from the bank. But if I don't know my limits, and I go, yeah, but that sounds really risky. Okay, well, here's your other option. Okay, you give me 3 options and tell me what the risk is. I like that one. but I'll never know that option was ever there if I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like, do I borrow money from a family member? Do I go get money from the bank? Right. And then, well, if you get money from the bank, now's not the time because these fucking rates. It's like, okay, at least I know now, and I didn't just jump in and go get screwed.
2 points. I got to jump in on you. Yeah, I got to jump on you. So, number one thing you can do is get a coach. I wish I would have had one. My ego, and most people's egos keep them from it because it's uncomfortable. Oh, I got to spend money, and what I'm going to get ripped off or whatever. I don't care if you spend 10 grand and you get an hour in an hour, I could tell you how to change your life and be financially free in 3 years, wherever you are.
Well, that's why people pay $5 grand for a Tony Robbins seminar.
Yeah.
Because they get 20 years of knowledge and they go, holy shit, I've been doing this wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
This 10 grand, I'm going to make $1 million a year now.
Yeah. And that's why
people are like, I don't know. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. People watch 7 to 8 hours of TV a day. I haven't watched TV since my kids were born because when my kids were born, it was a pressure on me to be the best man I could be so they can be the best version of them. It wasn't about telling them how to do stuff. It was about showing them. So I started reading books every single day. And now I average probably 3 to 4 hours of reading or listening every single day.
Yeah.
Working out every single day because it all comes down to energy, man. So energy is everything. Money, you can have it. It don't matter. Energy is everything. If I have people around me, like character is more important to me than gold and money. So I'm always looking for that, man. And as soon as you get better at who you have around you, you learn.
Energy and time, man. That's all I got.
That's it. That's why I'm doing these videos, man.
Money's not real. Money's not real. If they keep printing it's not real. It's monopoly money.
It's all, yeah. So
that's all it is.
I'm basically already a billionaire. People like, you don't even know, like, because I believe it. So now I'm going to achieve it. And it's easy. You're holding yourself back.
But I need my time. And if you're wasting my time, you just put me back a year.
Yeah, I work about 4 to 6 hours a day. It's all I do every day. 4 to 6 hours. That's it. That's my day. But I'm grinding. I'm working. I'm growing. I'm putting more in myself than people do. Because if you invest in you, everything else gets better. Your money, everything. Like that's the number one thing you do. Invest in you. Get a coach. But going back to the rates, and you said something I want to hit on. Most people think this rates are high right now. Rates are not high. They're under the national average. But if you could borrow money, it's free money. So if you're borrowing, if you put down 3 or 5 or 10 or 20% down on a house, depending on your situation, you're getting a $300,000 investment. If you buy a house for $300K, that's going to appreciate whatever the rates. Basically, they're going up with interest rates going up 5%. If you reverse that, it went up like $70,000, $80,000. So if they didn't raise rates, everybody would have won. But instead of everybody winning and having money, they took it from you. So the only way to protect yourself is to take all your equity out of your properties and buy more with them. That's the only way to protect yourself. It's called leveraging. Robert Kiyosaki, everybody. Yeah. All these investors I know, people get wealthy. Poor people get wealthy. They remain poor. Wealth is a mindset. So I could be the poorest I've ever been and be the happiest I've ever been now. And I've been through those different changes. And what you realize, I spend more money now when I've had more in the past and I didn't spend anything. The reason I bought those 7 homes is because I had investors and I wanted to put the money to work. And it was fear, bro. It was 100%. Like I never sat on $300K before. Now I want to sit on $1 million, $1 billion. At the end of the day, I didn't know, and I'm going to go back to the Missouri thing. I didn't know what I didn't know. And when I had $300K in the bank, I should have spent $20 or $30K and talked to one of my 8 mentors and been like, hey, this is what I have going on. This is what I should do.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm about to do right now. Because at the end of the day.
Well, you got to seek wise counsel, bro.
Yeah, 100%. It's worth
and you start
it, bro.
realizing
It was
the
worth
more successful you get,
$1 million.
the more the Bible starts making sense.
If I would have spent $20 or $30K, I would have saved $1 million.
Yeah.
I had to go through this.
Why do you think a lawyer is $3,000 an hour? It's like,
experience.
You're going to save my life. You're going to smash 10 years of what you know into 20 minutes for me and point me in the right path. And you just made my sales go 10 degrees this way, which is going to put me way over here eventually.
100%.
That's all it is.
100%.
Seeking wise counsel.
100%. But as far as, I got like 3 things, but I'm going to touch on the interest rate you said. So when you can borrow money for 7, 8, 9, 10%, whatever it is, borrow money because it's a write-off. And then as long as you take that money and put it in something tangible, it's not going to go away. So the 401k, stock market, all these things, they're all invisible. Real estate, it's real.
Estate.
You can hold it. It's safer.
It's always
Everything
right in the
else
words,
is
huh?
gambling.
It's always like super obvious. It's always right in front of you.
Yeah, like parent. You're a parent. You pay rent.
Yeah.
I like to be a father. I want to choose.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I want to choose what I do with my
rent.
children. I don't want the government to make me a parent. 100% love that. I heard it a while back. So, Missouri. Anyways, I should have sat on the money. I learned a lesson. At the end of the day, I made it all back and then some. And now what I learned from it, you get so much more value through the hard stuff if you learn from it. Most people stick in it because they're comfortable with it and they complain about it every day. Here's one tip for everybody out there. The last thing I had to work on was feeling sorry for myself. That was the last thing I had to really work on other than being patient. Because most people feel sorry for themselves with some dumb shit. But I was feeling sorry for myself, going, lose my family. Oh, I tried, but I realized I don't feel sorry for myself for anything. I say I need to get stronger. I'm grateful for this opportunity to rise up and get stronger and get better. Don't wish times were easier. Wish you were harder.
Yeah,
and that's something I live my life.
Yeah, because you don't fail. You just come up with 10,000 ways not to do it again.
Unless you quit, bro.
Yeah.
I felt the urge. I never know what the urge was. Yeah. All these people say. Every winner, every champion, they've all felt this, the urge to quit. I've never felt it, bro, until about maybe twice in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And actually maybe once, man. I've never really felt it until like once. Losing my kids was like, oof, it was tough. It was like losing an arm, bro, especially when you're like a great father and everything you do was for them before they were even born,
Yeah.
For someone
that'd mess up your whole week, bro.
Yeah, bro. A year,
you gotta put everything
bro.
on the burner now.
A year, almost 2 years. Yeah, like 2 years, bro.
Yeah.
I was just working on myself. I never got drunk. I never drink. I don't drink. I've just been leveling up, and all I have are good vices, man. Like still is my number one drug. I work out every single day. I love it. And it's because it sucks. I don't like it. I don't want to do it, but I like what comes from it, and everybody. I got someone I'm coaching right now. I told her, just work out 15 minutes every day. Everybody says work out 5 days a week. Say no, work out every day. Every day it's easier to do something 100% than it is to do it 80 or 90. I've learned that.
Speed up that 30-day habit real quick.
Just do it every day. Whatever I do it. I'm all in. So if I'm going to drink, I'm going to go crazy. And that's why I don't drink. Like I've just learned, I'm all in. I'm committed to whatever I do. If I'm a dad, I'm going to be the best father I can be. And that means waking up at 4, 2, 3, whatever. It means waking up early every day. No excuses. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and just do more because my 8-year-old bro is better than me when I was 30.
Yeah.
I've instilled in them some mindsets and some things like Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd, and I lack nothing. He makes me lay down in green pastures. That, if you guys need a good quote, memorize that, man, because it'll get you through everything in life. But go ahead, continue.
No, you actually made me think of something like with our kids, how my kid's going to be way more advanced than I was at whatever age he's at, 20, 25, when I was still messing around partying, like I should have been figuring it out and going to some seminars or something. But
yeah, 100%.
And the reason why we were talking about this earlier, I think your kids have to be 2 to 3 times better than you were, because like we were saying earlier, I think that if you mess these next 10 years, I think are like the way we're printing money, these wars that we're in, everything that's going on. I feel like if you're not ahead of the game right now, you lose a home or whatever it is, or you're not investing, or you're at this one job and you're not doing it, you're not taking risks. I feel like you're going to be stuck where you're at right now for the next 40 years. I feel like this generation, wherever the ball lands, and wherever you are on the chess piece, wherever you are on the chessboard, stuck. I feel like that's where you are. I feel like you're going to be stuck there for a long time because people aren't. People can get mad. Oh, the wealthy this. Oh, it's easy for them. No. They just plan better. They plan better and they set their kids up for a better future. And if I'm not here one day, I'm going to put you 10 steps ahead, because if I don't put you 10 steps ahead, you're going to be stuck right here forever. Unless you hit the lottery or something happens, or, but I can't go borrow debt at these interest rates. There's money's being printed. I don't know how to invest into this. I can't afford a coach. If you're not setting your kids up right now for the future, especially if universal basic income rolls out, or, you're going to be stuck where you're at. You're not moving up. And if you do, it's going to be very slowly.
That's why I have so much passion and energy to help people, man. But people don't want to help themselves. It's the hardest thing. Yeah. Finding the one. So I do these YouTube channels. I want to help people. I'll do it for free, guys. But people aren't committed. I need money to get your commitment. Yeah. People aren't. That's the only reason. I'll do this for free. I am doing it for free on YouTube for 180 videos, and because I had to get outside of myself in order to get uncomfortable to do videos, and it's because it's now or never. In one way, it's the easiest world we ever live in. But I'm gonna challenge a couple of thoughts, a couple of things you said on that. I used to believe what the ways you're saying, but I don't believe in never say never, because I think it's going to be harder than ever.
Yeah.
But I think there's always going to be a way to get wealthy, but it's going to get harder and harder. You're going to see less and less, because if you're not doing it now, you ain't going to do it in 10 years from now.
I feel like it's going to be a narrow
AI,
door.
It's either slaves or wealthy right now.
Yeah.
Like you're
look
either
what
a
happened
slave.
with COVID. You either got inflation and everything, losing your jobs. Either people got
or jabbed, poked.
Yeah, you
get cancer.
You went from middle class to a little bit under that, but the wealthy, Amazon, all these they made way more money.
Bro, I love the stat
I feel like
you
it's
said.
Gonna go like this.
I love the stat you said. 200%.
Yeah.
Cancer has increased 200% since the COVID shot came out.
Yeah. Weird.
Guys, you got to use your brain and realize and ask questions and not just follow the rules all the time. I've been in trouble many times in my life because I don't follow rules when they're not right. You have to know the difference, I just wanted to say something on that, bro. Because, man, what you said, that 1 out of 3 people are getting cancer, bro. 1 out of 3. And from 20, I was telling you this fact, from 20 to 60, this is a perspective that I wake up with every single day. And this is what drives me. I don't need an alarm clock. I don't need money. I don't need work. I don't need anything. I just need life. If I wake up, I'm going to maximize my day. I've already lived more lives than most people have lived at 80 years old.
Yeah.
Because I'm always challenging myself and growing and getting better. And all it is staying uncomfortable. I don't like to be comfortable. Comfortable is a slow death. So when you said, about your kids going to be 2-3 times better than you. I used to think that, bro. Honestly, I had that thought. You're also 34 and I'm 40. So you're 6 years ahead of me, bro. I'm going to tell you this right now, that I want my kids to I'm going to always be doing better. I used to think that too, because I outdid my dad when I was like 20. No offense, Dad, I love you. But as far as like money wise, right? But it's because he instilled in me a work ethic.
Yeah.
He instilled in me this work ethic, this drive, get the work done. If I didn't have that, 9 years of him teaching me that's it. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be the person. I have half sisters, and I'm the most financially stable. So, but my point is, and it's different because we're women and men, you know what I mean? My point is, though,
we have different jobs and different things, priorities. And like when they say, women don't make as much, it's like, well, you took 5 years off of work to raise kids. Yeah. That's way more important.
Yeah.
You're not going to get paid as much until later. Like we have our different priorities.
Yeah, we have different skill levels, and we're different. So, but I used to think that, my kids are going to do better than me. And I realized I don't ever want my kids to do better than me. I want to constantly grow with them and get to a point where when I'm 80 or 90 years old, they're still asking me for advice.
Yeah.
And with me and my father, it took about till the age I was 40 to where we don't really have the best relationship anymore. We used to a lot. And he was basically my best friend. But we're at a point now where I love him, but he's not willing to get uncomfortable to become a better version. At the end of the day, bro,
scary for some people,
you will lose everybody. You will lose everybody around you. You still love him.
Money.
And I just want to if he lived with me, if he lived in my house, he would never stop.
Yeah.
But the fact that we live in different states, but we used to talk every week, and now I'm learning that I just got to focus on where I'm going. So my point of that is, bro, is I don't ever want to lose a relationship with my kids. So if I put my kids down this self-development, getting better every day, just becoming 1% better is my motto every day. Just do better. If somebody cuts you off, smile at them. Like whatever. I've had road rage in like 13 years.
Bro, just 1% every day.
Just 1%. If I, like today I got tested. I'm always getting tested. Every day I get tested. And now I just smile and I wake up going, I'm going to get tested today. Let's pass 100%. Yeah. And I'm working on controlling my mindset, because they say it's easier to lead 1,000 people into battle, or 100,000 people in a battle, than it is, don't quote me, something like this, than it is to manage yourself. So if you just work on managing yourself every day, bro. But I just had to hit on that because I used to think that too. I want my kids are going to do better. But at the end of the day, I want to race forever, bro. I don't ever want to retire. I'm going to work forever because I do what I'm fighting for freedom, bro. Like William Wallace, freedom. I just feel like, don't get me started, bro. But that's really that's why I'm here, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I'm alive.
Well, people need that, man. People need to know that it's it's funny. Our generation, though, we get starstruck on like Instagram. Like, if I'm gonna choose a coach who's driving a Lambo because it looks like he knows what he's doing, but sometimes you gotta be careful with that too, because they might be in too much debt, or that might be a rental or whatever it is. But for some people, we get scared.
Hey, wouldn't it be cooler?
If you say you got 70 doors and you've done this and you're buying duplexes, you know what you're doing.
But I drive a Prius, bro. I drive a Prius.
Well, and that tells me that you're humble too.
I'm still pulling the ladies in the Prius. Try picking up a 10 in a Prius.
Yeah.
I had to say that.
But you know what? That's funny though. That tells me that you've got, you know what you're doing. You've made your mistakes. You've got a lot of doors. You're investing in these big things. It's impressive. But then if I see you pull up in a Prius, I'm like, he's humble as shit too.
I'm trying.
I kind of like that.
Thank you, bro. I'm honestly trying. I'm a little extreme. So the Prius, I had a Tesla and I sold it and put it in crypto. Mm-hmm. So $50K in crypto. Yeah. So, or more actually, but the car was 50. But I'm just learning, man. You'll see me in a Rolls pretty soon. But at the end of the day, the stuff isn't for me, bro. Like I don't like. I'm having to talk myself into buying big stuff, just like Wes Wasson. My coaches in life, Wes Wasson, Andrew Tate. Part of the reason to have the nice stuff is to get people to want to be more like you, because most people want to follow that shit. Mm-hmm. I don't need that stuff at all. I don't care about any of it, bro. To be honest, I could live in a 1,000 square foot shack and I'd be okay.
Yeah,
even 500. Even I could live in my car, bro.
Yeah.
I live in my car. Like nothing phases me anymore, man. I'm telling you, because I've been through storms, bro. But now, once you do that, you realize all that stuff is just, it comes with leveling up. You need to get sued. You need to get attacked. You need to, all this stuff. It stops people. The reason people will never get there, 99% of them will never go through the things I've gone through. And I got stories, bro. But I'm not going to get into all that today. Like stories, bro. Like even your shadow leaves you in the darkest of times, my friends. So once you can get comfortable with that, then having the nice stuff and people suing you and all this stuff won't matter, because you have to do that. And this is why these guys do this, is because they attract the young kid. It attracts all these people. Me driving in a Prius may not attract somebody that is like, well, this guy ain't doing nothing, but I really don't care. So that's my whole reason too. At the end of the day, once you stop giving a fuck what anybody else thinks, then life gets so much easier. And that's the reason people stay with jobs, because they don't want to get uncomfortable. They're, if I fail, who gives? I had a guy I was coaching for about a week, and he said, I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to give you my word. 3 days by himself, he ended up getting a job because he got money. He paid all his bills off, and now he's going to get a job. So he have security. He just got his kid after, fighting for age. But at the end of the day, he's been doing sales in LA, real estate, solar. I was teaching him. I told him, stick with me. You'll make 100K this year easily. Next year, 200. Next year, 3 years. He was 100%. 3 days by himself. He quit because his mind, bro. Like when he was with me, he felt good all the time. I'm like, you can't unless you want to come live with me, bro. But some people may need that too, and I'm open to that too, man. I might buy. Well,
that's why people do those weekly Zoom calls, daily Zoom calls. You have to. Because you know what it is? People are used to that 2 week every Friday paycheck. And when they don't see that, if you don't get into sales when you're young, that shit scares you. Yeah. I got into sales when I was young. I've had normal jobs, been in sales. Yeah. So in my head, I know, okay, I'm going to go 3 weeks without a paycheck. But if I get that one sale, whole month is good. If you're not used to that, and you're used to right out of high school, 40 hours a week, okay, every 2 weeks, I'm getting that paycheck, I'm fine. When people get away from that, they get scared.
Yeah, I've worked 6 months twice in my life without any money coming in. 6 months without money with 20.
But you're in sales. If you grind it out, if I get this one sale, it's going to carry me 3 months.
It was the best thing that ever happened to me, bro.
Some people are like, I can't live like that. That's too much.
You won't know what you can handle until you either sink or take the island, bro. Yeah. And that's what. But people aren't willing to do it.
You got to burn those boats.
People aren't willing to do it. I love that shit, bro. Put me in that every day.
Yeah. But it's hard because I've tried training a lot of people in insurance, and I say have 2 or 3 months saved up because you got to go get licensed, you got to do this, you got to come in and train. I'm going to throw you leads, which I didn't have anyone throwing leads at me when I first started. I had to figure it out.
Yeah,
I had to use my own gas. I had to buy. I had to spend.
And they won't even call leads, bro. They won't even call cold call 100%.
So, but because I was used to, it's like solar guys, right? Or even real estate guys. I'm going to work, if your wife's like, you're not making any money. I know, but at the end of the month, when I close this sale, it's going to carry us for 2 months. And then you rinse and repeat. And it's going to come in faster.
For free, bro.
Faster. Some people are not used to that, though. Some people want that every 2 weeks.
I still don't like it.
Every 2 weeks, I get a paycheck, and I'm good.
I still don't like it, but I over-leverage myself all the time now.
It's kind of like a gambling habit.
Yeah, and I've been a gambler, and I don't gamble.
A lot of sales guys are gamblers. I've learned. A lot of us are kind of addicted to things, and we got to be careful.
100%, and that's where for me, I'm working on the balancing and keeping cash in my bank and all these things. But at the end of the day, you don't grow when you're comfortable. So when you have money, this guy I listen to, Dan Pena. If you don't know Dan Pena, go Google him.
Yeah.
Love
Dan
this
Pena,
man,
that's my
dude.
dog.
Badass old dude. So, but he was a person, when I had everything, I didn't have to work anymore. I was done. He was, I leveraged everything till I was 62 years old, 120%. He leveraged more than he made. Mm-hmm. Until he was 62 years old, and he made me feel like a big girl, dude, like a pansy. Sorry, no pun intended, no negative around females. I love females, but basically,
you gotta be careful.
He made me feel, you gotta be very careful. He made me feel like a weakling, and I'm like this old man. But I'm realizing I don't like. I had to challenge, and sometimes God will challenge you and put you in positions that you're like, why me, God? But it's like now I just say, try me, because at the end of the day, the hard stuff is where I grow. So if you take all my money right now,
when your house is in order, you're ready for it to come. You know what I mean?
So you either put yourself in it or it comes to you. I'd rather put myself in it a little bit, because when it comes, it hurts a lot less.
Yeah.
But for people that
when those arrows start raining down, you're like, okay, I've been here before. Shield.
Yeah.
I know what to do in this situation. Everyone's like, what are we doing? It's like, no, just put your shield up, bro. We're good.
The more trials and tribulations you go through, bro, the more you're going to grow. So you can either wait for your job to fire you and live in worry until your job lets you go because there's no more job. AI is doing your job. Or you could go be an entrepreneur. You have 24 hours. Sleep for 6 or 7.
Because the place you're working at, they started as an entrepreneur. Now you work for them.
And every place.
They took that risk. Well, why do they go and get taxes and they make more? Because they took the risk. Yeah. You just work here. You can go do the same thing.
Yeah.
You can go be their competition. Capitalism's amazing.
Yeah. Whatever job you have, work like you own it. Do the best. That's what I did my whole life. I worked until I outgrew it, and then I got another job, 2, 3, 4 jobs till I found real estate. For real estate, I work as much as I want. So now I found this balance of investing, real estate, teaching, coaching, and at the end of the day, everything I do, I get uncomfortable every day. I take a cold shower, I go to the ocean, I ice plunge everywhere I go.
Yeah.
People think I'm crazy, and I used to let them think that, and I realized I don't want to be like them anyways. So unless you're crazy too, bro, unless you're a little, it's not even crazy, it's just extremist to get it uncomfortable. I make people feel uncomfortable. I'm learning so much now. I don't hang around too many people unless they're badasses, because most people will get envious, jealous, and try to take you down and sink your ship. As soon as you say something that and they'll do it. It's crazy, but it's because you insulted them and they don't want to grow. They don't want to get better. They rather pull you down than level up. Yeah. So if you're leveling up, bro, you're going to be in the sky like the eagles without anybody around you.
And like it's like a Shark Tank. Did you know that a shark will only grow as big as the tank?
Yeah, that's good. Yep.
That's crazy, right? Like when I found that out,
I was going to hit that earlier. Environment, you hit it right now. 100%.
It's crazy. I thought it was just a saying, right? I looked it up. Like when you buy like those little tiger sharks, and people have these huge 50,000 gallon. The shark you can feed it 10 times a day. It will only grow as where it's justifiable for the size of the tank.
Get out of your environment, bro. The biggest thing, whoever you're around, is why you are where you are. If you want to if somebody can't leave the people they're around, I can't work with them.
Yeah.
I'll tell people that. If you can't take a cold shower every day, if you can't leave the people you're around, if you can't, and people will break all the time, bro.
Yeah.
Unless they're already at 35 years old of age, 5% of people will change. So unless you're at a mindset, so if you're trying to fix somebody that's 35, they better pay me 10, 20, 30K, because I'm going to take them from 100 to 300K overnight, basically. But they have to be willing to die to themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest, hardest thing, dude. But you hit it right now, because I wanted to talk about the environment. But I got to tell you the story about eagles, bro. At the age of 40, most eagles will die. Have you ever heard the story? If you have, I'll stop.
No.
All right. So most eagles will die because they
live till they're 40?
No, they live to be 80. Half of them. The loser eagles, the little pansies, they're not eagles at 40 years old. They have to go up on a rooftop, on a hilltop, and they got to pull out. It takes them like months to pull out their beak, their talons, and all their feathers. They have to basically pull everything out of their body, and then they got to grow new ones. And if they don't do that, they're too heavy to fly. They stay on the ground, and vultures and things will eat them.
Yeah.
So humans, or there's the crab story where the crab's got to break out of its shell, outgrow its shell, and it's naked, it's uncomfortable. As humans, we take drugs and do alcohol and everything else to comfort. If you work all day and you can't turn off, go to the gym again. Do 2-a-days. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. If I ever have too much energy, it's at the end of the day, you got to be equanimous and you got to be even-minded to to become the best version of yourself, you got to learn to balance yourself out. So instead of drugs and alcohol, you hit the gym twice. Why not look like a stud? I'm 40 and have an 8-pack. Why not look like a stud? The best drug you can do is health, bro. You know what I mean? So, but it's your environment. I could hang out with somebody for a week or two and end up having a drink of alcohol, and it's not bad. I don't have a problem. But at the end of the day, it's like your environment is everything.
Yeah.
Man, so how to say that. So the Eagle, I went through a transitional period. I lost everybody around me. And because I'm not the same person that I was. And everybody around me, even my parent, like everybody around me, I still love them. I still will talk to them a couple times a year. But they're not in my circle because I'm not the same. Man, it's crazy, bro. It is lonely until you transition and you find people like I'm
at the top, bro.
It's lonely, bro, until you find a few Eagles that you meet up every once in a while.
Yeah.
But Eagles don't hang out and socialize and drink and eat all the time. Eagles are doing business, bro. They're doing business because money is energy.
Yeah.
And you can't live your best life unless you have the most energy.
Yeah.
People say I have ADHD. I call it, you mean active, driven, and whatever, hyperactive, drive, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, I have a lot of energy. I'm focused. I do the shit that's important. I don't like wasting my time. I don't like meeting people and just talking about and catching up and and it going nowhere. It's got to have a purpose. So that's why I coach too, because the people I hang around are doing better. They're growing. We're learning from. I'm learning from you. I don't learn from too many people.
Yeah.
So that's why I go on YouTube.
Well, even like my friends, like if we're just hanging out bullshit and the kids are together, we go in the backyard. It always goes, hey man, how you been? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I've been doing this, working on that. And then it always goes like into business. And then, well, why don't you do this? Like we start to kind of challenge each other or just ask each other, well, why don't you do that? Or you should, team up with this guy. It always somehow goes into growth.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about the kids and then what we've been doing. But somehow, because when you're
hanging around you've already leveled your group.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
It's just a whole different level, different room that you're in now.
Did you lose people or did you, like, how did that happen? How was your transition?
You slowly lose people. You just start, and I never had to like kick anyone like out of my group or anything like that. But as you get older and more mature, and you just have different goals, I think people just start to like either get bored of you or you get bored of them. But it just happened naturally for me. People just fell out of my life, and the people that stuck around in the birth, you know how it is when you have kids. You guys start going to birthday parties and picking and choosing who you hang out with again, and you kind of
changes because of the kids. Like you start, you be a
but
different
now you
kind
pick
of
and choose who you want. You have your first big birthday party. It all goes, and then from the big birthday party, you go, I don't want them to come back anymore. They're cool. They can come back. I don't really want
their energy, bro. It's their energy, right? Like,
and I don't want their energy around my kids either. You know, but that's kind of how it was for me. I just, it just happens naturally. You just start gravitating towards other people, and those people go, I don't know if it's like insecurity, but they go, I'm not investing. I don't know money. I'm just going to keep hanging out with these guys and doing the same shit. And I'm like, all right, well, I got this thing to go to Thursday. If you guys want to come, and they don't show up. And it's like I think it just happens naturally. But for some people, you got to cut relationships.
I definitely think it does happen naturally for a lot of people. But I think for some people, it'll happen abruptly. Because, and this has happened to a lot of people I know, but it's because they had friends for 20 years. So they had that group that you have, like you have those, but though you end up, when you get to a different level, you end up, unless those people are coming with you, but it sounds like the group you have, you guys are all going around the same pace and leveling up. The people I were with just weren't, I'm just a little extreme, right? So I'm taking, I think, just bigger bounds, and that's why it happened that way, I feel like. I think like Wes Wasson talked about, like when he went to jail, everybody around him was gone, and I felt like I went through something traumatic with the properties, with my ex, with all these things where a lot of people just couldn't handle what I was, they didn't know how to relate. And you know what I mean?
It's like you're speaking a different language.
They're like, what,
bro? You want to throw 50 grand at this house and flip? What are you talking about, bro? Like they don't get it.
They don't. 100%.
And even my friends for like the last 10, 15,
and they'll
20
keep
years.
You down. Sorry, bro. They'll still keep being around them. Kept me. I would have, if I was around a different group, bro. I'd be.
What brings your energy down when you hear people say, "Nah, I don't know." If you're like, "Well, you're not my friend anymore. I'm gonna go hang out with this guy."
It's sad, but it's like
we can still have a beer once in a while, but
I still love him. I just had to.
Well, I noticed that the 2 or 3 people, I'd say like 3 to 5 people that I've known for over 20 years. Out of, dozens of guys, down to those 5 people that I see every month or every couple of weeks or birthday parties, whatever, my friends that have been around the whole time, they're either entrepreneurs, they run businesses, or they just all around, or if they, if they work at UPS or whatever it is, they just have a different mindset, different level. They're, if they're not entrepreneurs, they're those guys that ruck and hike 20 miles. And I'm like, you're fucking crazy. Yeah. But we're friends because,
they're bringing
those
some value to you, bro.
Divide themselves, and you come down to those 5 people that, you'll be with forever. You don't have to talk to them for 10 years.
Maybe not. I don't know. I thought that too.
With my friends, at least. Yeah.
So,
and then a lot of people leave the group.
Yeah. But I think sometimes you might go through a level depending on the height you're going. I think that matters, like how high you're wanting to fly. What happens is, this in my opinion, I'm not the person I was. So the people that were in my life, they were in there for a reason. I was attracted to them. They were attracted to me because we brought something. We're usually different. One of my best friends was a shorter guy. I had lots of confidence. And when I was young, I had no confidence. And my dad was short and had no confidence. So I think I was attracted to him because he had confidence and he was short. And I was trying to understand. So we became best friends. But I was I was always a good friend. I didn't value myself enough. So I was always a better friend than he was to me. So when I went through all this, I saw who he was. He didn't change. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't accepting it anymore.
Yeah.
So that for me, like those things happen, which I'm sure, people go through different things, but I've seen it and I analyze it, bro, because I want to understand it, because it hurts, bro. Like you hurt, like why wasn't he there when I was there?
Yeah.
But then you realize that was never him.
Yeah.
So I became different. I became someone who needed somebody. I never needed anybody before, I think, in my opinion. Like I was I needed them for a reason. Confidence. This one was good with ladies. This one, like there was, so you said the runner, I think you got to put people in your circle that not exactly the same as you. The people in my circle are more laid back than me.
Yeah.
And I need that. I drive a Prius because I need people to think that I'm conservative.
Yeah.
But and in my opinion, I'm trying to be more conservative. So I drive a Prius.
Well, like Bruce Lee said, I don't completely, for like with the martial arts style, I'm not going to be all Taekwondo. I'm not going to be all boxing. I'm not going to be anything, because he was one of the first guys to go, Western boxing's got its perks.
Be versatile.
Wrestling's got its perks. Taekwondo's got, you take what you need. Cool. You take what you need from each one and you leave the rest. You don't have to be bound to one group, because you can be the world Taekwondo. Like, that's why I love UFC. It exposes everything underneath the person or in that sport, right? You take a Taekwondo guy and he's killing everyone around the world in Taekwondo, and you put him against a wrestler, the fight's over in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He gets taken down, he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's why Bruce Lee said, you take what you need from each group. You don't come so bound to it. You stay loose like water. I take this from boxing, I take this from Taekwondo, I take this from this, and then you make it your own. That's how you gotta, I think, take your new friend group. You take, like, I have some friends, they don't care about investing, they don't like talking about money, they're just my funny comedy, we got movie jokes, those are my boys, because I need that fun too. But then I have my other friends that it's like, hey, if I need something, I need advice on this. This guy wants to, help go and buy this small duplex. I'm going to call you. I'm not going to call this guy. He doesn't know. He's like, I don't give a shit. Call me when you want to chop it up and talk conspiracy and just have some beers.
It's a good point, man. Like leaving them in their realms, like 100%. I think sometimes I'm extreme, water. Bro. I'm like all or nothing. But I think that, and I've been getting better at that, man. Like not cutting people off. I used to cut people off, and now I'm realizing, like you're saying, it's just you're not spending as much time with them, and 100% get that, bro.
Because I even got my dad friends now, where I'm like, we have nothing in common outside of this.
The school,
but we
kids,
have a few things. Right? You're a great dad. You're doing this, and I like that, and you're giving me ideas for camping or whatever. But because I used to be way too open, I had to narrow mine. You're trying to open yours up a little bit.
I'm always that's good. That's good. And I think the way we ran into each other was donating blood, bro. We're donating blood. We ran into each other. Now we're sitting here. And
we were racing energy, too, bro. We were squeezing that. We were squeezing that bag, trying to fill that blood
that
up.
energy, bro. And this is how I love it, bro. This is how I've been patient and meeting better people through being patient and becoming the best version. As you become different, you attract different people. So the people who were in my life were because I was that person. But going back real quick. So you were talking about Jackie Chan, right? What's his name?
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Sorry, Bruce Lee. I don't know that much about him, but I do love what you're telling me right now. And I believe that you should master one thing and then and that's what they say, like, all the warriors and back in the day with the swords, forget the guy's name.
Instead of knowing 50 different kick styles, you've done one kick 50,000 times.
And that was me in real estate. And I got to a point, and that's why I say once you become an expert or something, you should teach other people.
Yeah.
And that's how you remain, secret to happiness is progress. But I got
it's like jiu-jitsu guys. They have two signature moves, and everyone knows their signature move, but they still get you in it because they've done it 10,000 times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to name drop as many people as I can think right now that are in my circle. You got Andrew Tate, you got Wes Watson, you got Patrick Bet-David, you have Alex Hormozy, you have Chris Crone. I'm doing this for a reason. So you have Chris Crone, you have Sebastian Ingus, and
is this like your podcast
these
circle,
are like
your
the
podcast
people
group?
that this is like who I listen to daily.
Yeah. Your mentors.
Mentors. For different things, right? Patrick Bet-David, Wes Watson, and they're all Alex Hormozy, Sebastian. But I relate to them all in one way, and I think there's like one or two things I don't agree with them on out of everybody.
That's everybody though. People get so. I'm sure if we talk for 3 hours, there's some things I'm gonna go. I don't know, Marshall. I think
you're a little extreme for me.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like that though.
100%, bro.
People get stuck on that.
I say
nowadays.
that instead of like we were talking earlier, instead of judging people by what you hear one thing and you judge them.
Yeah.
It's like idiots will judge people based off of the cover. You got to read the book, right? So.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I said
Everyone's
that circle.
Headline readers nowadays. They just read the headline.
100%. But that is my circle right there, and I'm sure you have a circle. Who's your top 3, 4 people that are doing bigger than you that you're getting coached by basically?
Patrick Bet-David, I just started really following like 6 months ago, and now I'm like a daily listener.
We found out from him through the same person, by the way.
Yeah. So I would say I love Joe Rogan though. Because I love all the different personalities. But Joe Rogan, like 10 years ago, when I started listening to him, he kind of made me realize, like, don't take yourself so serious. Yeah. Relax. And that helped me in sales. I'd be sitting with someone, and I could sit with a guy who owns 15 different businesses, worth millions and millions of dollars. But I could relate with him with so many things because I was open to listening to finance. I'm open to listening to a little, conspiracy stuff or banking things. And then I could talk to a single mom who just lost her husband. She's got 3 kids, but she's not sure what to do. It's like, you don't take yourself so serious where it's like, oh, I only work with these people. And for some reason, Joe Rogan taught me when I started listening to him like 12 years ago, when it was just him like in his little basement with like Brian Callen. And I was like, man, I need to be more like this guy. I need to be more open-minded. I need to talk to more, because like, when I was getting in sales, the people my group I was around, oh no, you only work with people with net worths of $1 million. And I was like, but there's a lot of people out there, man, that secretly have money, but they just don't want to work with an asshole like you because you wear a suit everywhere you go. I'm just going to wear a casual shirt, a blazer, talk normal,
That's a good point. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Everybody relates to different people at different times too. But so you got Joe Rogan. Oh, well, real quick, before the next person, I want to hear like at least 2 or 3 more of your top because I agree with you on him, but you might tell me someone that I don't know. But
I would say Rogan, Peterson, Tate, and Patrick Bet-David, but you'll see a guy named Brian Callen.
Peterson, I love Peterson.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Peterson.
He's kind of a wiener. Sorry. Yeah. He's kind of other than that, like he cries a lot, but other than that, he's cool. A lot of good stuff. I actually seen him in Fresno. I took our friend to see him in Fresno too.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
He was here, I forget when, about a year ago.
Yeah, the way his mind thinks and everything.
Love it, bro. I got so much.
Daughter, his daughter's very, his daughter did a podcast with Andrew Tate. And everyone was like, did you guys sleep together? And I was just
I remember that
dude,
too.
She's too smart to be asking dumb questions like that.
Yeah, I like her too. She's cool.
But his theory on things, his philosophy on certain things and, make your bed every morning, all that little stuff. I like that.
He's got so many good things, but the only thing the only thing I probably disagree a little bit is about the marriage with him. But other than that, like I think he's hitting everything. You have to be a monster and control him.
Well, if you're listening to Peterson and Tate, it's like, whoa, in the marriage, you're like, whoa, these are two. This guy's got 9 wives, and this guy's like, no, you should be.
They've had different life experiences, and that's where you can't judge people by the dumb shit. You have to, if you're gonna cut off somebody because of the way they feel about women or marriage or whatever, and not get the 90% of the great stuff, his character that he's built up, that's better than anybody you're around.
Yeah,
that's the ego, and that's the idiot. Because you should look at somebody. Take the 90% good and leave the 10%.
That's why you just take what you need and then leave the rest.
Don't be judgmental. Don't be judgmental. You're not perfect.
Yeah, don't take it so serious. Just
take the good of what you need. Exactly, bro. Level up. Yeah. But you had mentioned about rates, and there was. I just sat down with
sidetrack there for a minute.
I gotta just. I'm gonna say maybe we can close. What time is it, by the way? How much time we got?
It's 1. We've been doing it an hour.
I got 15 minutes, bro. All right. Just because I got an appointment. But I gotta tell you that So I sat down with somebody. I was at a Rotary meeting and met this 65-year-old person, and he was in building, and he was telling me about, because we were talking about the inflation. He was telling me that inflation is not 3.5; it's way higher. He knows this because he's built. All he does is build, and he's spending 40% more than what he's estimating. 40% more than what he's estimating. Some of that might be time, but a lot of that's probably just the prices of things as they're going up. So that's huge, bro. So if inflation is going up, you want your money in real estate, gold, all this other stuff is cool. But guess what, guys? If you have $100K, you can go get gold. You can go get stocks. You can go get anything else. Real estate, though, you can go get $500,000 worth or more, and that'll appreciate. Why would you have gold? Why would you have anything else? Honestly, the only reason why you have anything else is for liquidity and a little bit of diversity. But I disagree with being fully leveraged out.
Yeah.
Just because real estate is something that you can track, and if you like control, you can control it. It's 100%. Everything else is no control. It's real. Yeah. It's real. Keep it real, baby. 100.
What I would say to that, once you have your investments and the money's flowing in, I tell people, put that money in insurance. Be your own bank. Have you ever heard of infinite banking?
Thank you, man. That's what I wanted to talk about too.
I know we were talking about that earlier. And I told you once we start these podcasts, we're gonna be everywhere. I told you once we start we're gonna be all over the place.
Perfect, bro. Perfect timing. So yes, Infinite. Tell me more. I know a little bit, but not as much as you.
So this is what I tell my clients that are investors and my friends. When you're an investor, you own a company, whatever it is, you have cash flow coming in, and most people, the norm is, take my money I'm making, put it in my bank, and then you go buy stuff. But there's a lot of money always just sitting in your bank doing nothing. And people get infinite banking mixed up. The cash value in life insurance, you pull it out tax-free, you put it back, you pull it out, you put it back. You hear all these guys talking about it. And it's really big in the real estate world because something comes up, I need money now. I can't wait for you to qualify me and all this stuff, right?
I always thought infinite banking was when they're using credit cards and things. But what I'm realizing, it's basically you're taking out a life insurance where you can borrow against it. This is what I know, and you tell me where I'm. And so you're taking it out. So you put in. I give you $100,000. Mm-hmm. Oh, if I had $100,000 right now, and let's say I have $300K, and I want to go buy some properties with it, but I give it to you first, and you give me insurance, and then I borrow. How would that work?
Okay, so this is what I do with real estate investors. But like I said, business owners, construction companies, I have so many people that do this. Say you're like, you know what? I have money I play with. I sell properties, I flip stuff, whatever it might be, right? But I constantly have a cash flow of $20,000 a month, and I always have $150K just sitting in a savings, doing nothing. In 10 years, if you were just to leave that $150K, you would have $150K. But with everything going up, it'd actually be more like 120 or 130, whatever it is. Yeah. So what you do is you have to get the right policy. They're not all created equal. When Dave Ramsey goes, "Oh, your cash value makes 2 or 3%," no. These policies are making.
That guy. We'll do another video about it.
Yeah, okay. These policies, if you go with the right company that's known for cash value and that's known for the infinite banking system, you go with a company that has really good returns. So you can do whole life or indexed. We'll get into that later. But basically what you're doing is I'll have guys, for example, they'll dump $50,000 in the first year. And then you're making your $500 a month payment because you have to keep your life insurance policy. But
so they put $50,000 in and they're paying $500 a month.
Yeah, because remember, it is life insurance at the end of the day.
But are they able to borrow that back?
You can borrow that back.
So they would so at an 8 or 9% rate, right? Some of that.
So here's an example. I had a client a couple months ago. For the next 4 or 5 years, he wants to dump in $25,000 a month, or I'm sorry, a year. But what he's going to do is the first year he dumped in like $50K because he's like, I got that money sitting in my bank. I want to put it somewhere, but he doesn't like the stock market because he goes, if something pops up, I need my money quick, right? Yeah. So the first year he puts in $50K, and then that $50K will adjust how big your life insurance policy has to be. This is where the secret sauce comes in. You go with a company that will, because you have 2 buckets, cash value, life insurance. You're paying for insurance, right, out of that $1,000 a month or whatever it might be. We go with a company that'll let us drop the death benefit really low so that the cash value bucket's growing much faster. Not all companies do that, though. So you're dumping $50K the first year. Now you're paying your $500 a month for the insurance, right? The first year, that $50K might be like in your cash value bucket, it might be like $46,000 because we bought life insurance. After like 2 or 3 years, you're breaking even now. All that cash value is there. And now you're making 5 to 7% a year on that money. That money over 10 years is constantly growing. You have like your own super savings account. Because if it was to sit in the bank, it'd be $50K. Over 5 to 10 years, you're going to have a lot more money in there. You borrow from that. But here's the big kicker with all this. When you borrow that money, if I said, you know what, I got 70 grand in that savings account now through my insurance. If you had a bankruptcy, if you had a lien, if you had creditors coming after you, that money can't be touched. It's kind of like crypto.
Great to know.
It's kind of like crypto in a way. Because I have people that have way more money than that. They use it as their entire bank. Because if they need it, they call the company. They say, hey, I need 50 grand. What account do you want it in? It's there in 3 days. You go buy the property. So it's their
bank versus leaving it in the bank.
They're using it as their bank account. You don't use it as like the market. I'm going to make 8, 10%. You're going to make 5 to 7%, which doesn't seem like a lot. But when that money sits there for a long time, it's going to double in those 10, 15, 20 years. And that's your new bank account. But it's got all these protections. So if you go to...
So my bank account is real estate, but I hear that's my bank account. Because I know it's going to appreciate, so I pull money out. Boom, boom.
Yep. Yeah.
But what you're saying, that's a great another way to diversify. And
so you put half of your savings or whatever's in your bank in insurance. Now you got 2 bank accounts, except one's earning 5 to 7% a year. Over 10, 20 years, that money's going to double or triple.
I leave like 2 to 3 months worth in the bank, and then the rest goes in there.
That's exactly what people do. Because remember, you can pull all that money and put it right back in. But here's the thing. If I put 100 grand in my life insurance, if I have $100,000 cash value, it's been building for a couple years. That's my new bank savings account, right? If I pull out 50 grand right now and I say, what can I do with this? You want to flip this property with me and make some money? I call the insurance. I pull out 50 grand. How much money do I have in that account now?
50. Still have 100.
I still have 100.
Still have the 100. You just borrowed it and you're paying rate.
So the company loaned me 50 grand.
You're leveraging. You should borrow it all and buy 2 houses with the 100 if you could, because you're making $30,000 a year. So you were asking about interest rates before.
Yep. And then I put that money right back. And now I just leverage that money that I've been getting from the interest. But
it's protected and you're a write-off with the interest.
Yeah.
You just move the pieces in the puzzle.
But here's the other trick too. At the end of the year, when the IRS says, what's this $50,000? It's not considered income.
Yeah, it's a loan. It's a debt. A loan. That's why you want debt. So when your ex comes after you, you have a lot of debt, but you don't have a lot of income.
It's not on my IRS That's how you do at all.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then here's the other thing. SBA loans for businesses. Or have you ever heard of a collateral loan assignment?
You're just protected, right? Isn't that just being smart with your money? It's not about avoiding anything. It's just protecting yourself.
Protecting yourself.
Just want to make sure I said that out.
So instead of putting my money all in my 401k or in the market where I could lose money, that money's never going to go down. It's always going to keep creeping up. That's my new savings account.
But wouldn't you tell all your clients to have money in this thing to pull it out and buy real estate? Wouldn't you tell them? I'm wondering. I mean, are you a financial? Yeah. No. Are you a financial advisor or are you an insurance?
No, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have certain. You know why? Here's the thing, though, too. I could go do my test and get my Series 6 and 7 and all this stuff. As soon as I do, advise people, right? I can't do this though. I can't give that. This is why Dave Ramsey can give opinions and shit on companies. He's not licensed.
And we're going to just talk about Dave Ramsey for a minute. Can I say something about Dave Ramsey? He's absolutely correct if you want to remain poor. Mm-hmm. He's correct if you want to remain poor.
Him and Robert Kiyosaki do not agree on shit.
Yeah, because he's an idiot. Sorry, he's
safe middle class. He's safe middle class, and he sells mutual funds. That's why he says you should invest into a mutual fund.
He basically didn't make he went through what I went through, but he didn't make it and tapped out and lost everything and filed bankruptcy and lost out. Mm. I made it through it, and that's where the difference, I think. He relates to so many more people because he doesn't make them that uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's why he's got so many people. And it is better, paying stuff off is better than having debt.
Yeah.
But having good debt, the society has brainwashed people to not have bad debt. I could show people numbers all day long.
Yeah.
Every day I do this, and people will go, I don't want that debt, the debt. But you'd rather be poor? You want good debt so you can write it off. And that's all you're talking about too, is basically moving the right pieces around. But
that's all it is. It's all where you put your money, how you leverage it, And here's the big trick, though, with the life insurance, why a lot of people dump money in there, and they're like, it's either sitting in my savings or it's sitting there. It doesn't matter. Because if my bank fails, I'm only covered up to $250,000 anyway. The bank, the fractional reserve banking, they have to have $1 on hand per every $10 they give out, right?
Is that it? Yeah, that was 100, but fractional. Well, yeah, I'm glad you called it. I'm glad 10%. You called it that.
So, if I have $100, I can give out $1,000.
Yeah, you take
insurance
money.
Companies are the opposite. They have to have on $2 per every $1.
So it's safer. Your money's safer. 100%. Banks are horrible.
Yeah. So, but that's where, it's like, where am I going to put my money?
Good to know. Thank you.
And then if I want to, here's the other thing. If I want to go get a big loan for, adding on a wing to my construction company or whatever it might be, with cash value, you pull out a collateral loan assignment and you say, this is how much I'm worth dead. This is how much cash value I have in here. The bank will give you more money.
How long does it take to pull that money out? 2 weeks, money? 4 weeks to borrow against your money?
Oh, I borrowed against mine when I bought all this camera equipment years ago. I had the money. Well, they say, do you want a check? Or they say, do you want it, which account do you want it wired to? You'll have it in like 3 days.
Quick. It was that quick?
Quick.
So lines of credit, when you have equity in your house, first thing you should do is pull the money out of your house.
It basically is just equity.
So we're going to work together.
Think of it like that.
I'm going to send you people and I'm going to use you as well, but basically take my cash. I just have to look at the bottom line and like, what is it? How long is it tied up for and things like that? Because I don't like to tie up any money.
Yeah.
But if I put money in there and then I borrow it and pay interest. Everybody's afraid of interest. You asked about it earlier about the rates being maybe a little higher than normal. But the thing is that the more they print money, the more you want assets.
Yeah.
So you don't want any kind of, you don't care about, stop worrying about interest rates, everybody. As long as you're putting your money to work, because when you pull money out and buy another house, you're getting 40 to 50% on the money that you pulled out. So you're borrowing it for 10, you're making 40 to 50. Mm-hmm. And I can show you guys how to do that too. So call if you have questions. Hit the link below. Also, you had mentioned something about a video. You were saying something about or setting up a video. Mm-hmm. I actually set up a video to how to become a top 1% agent selling over 40 to 50 homes a year for the last 18 years. And if you click the link below, I'll put it right here. And it's a 1 hour and 10-minute video. And I think we have it's really cheap. We'll give it to you for free, guys. It doesn't matter. Click the link and we'll give it to you. But I put everything in there for 20 years of real estate on how to do the best procedures to sell, to list, all my secrets, not all the normal stuff you'll hear from everybody else, all of the secrets to make me the best, to list for 6.5% when most agents list for 5% through the last 7 years. So there's reasons. So all that good stuff is all in there, bro. So I did do that because I want to give out that value, bro. Mm-hmm. The value I wish I would have had 20 years earlier, you know?
The nitty gritty that a lot of people don't talk about unless you go to one of these big conferences and pay 10 grand. And then they're going to tell you, but I've even learned that a lot of those conferences, you're basically just getting resources. Yeah. No different 100%. Than going to college. Why do people go to Stanford? Because they want to meet other people that they can grow Facebook with. They don't 100%. Go there to learn shit. They go there to meet people.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I went to a multi-unit, so I'm going to start buying 100, 200, 300, 400 doors. Mm-hmm. So if you ever have clients that have a bunch of money and you want to make money with it, make 20, 30% at least, this is how you start getting into owning big properties, is you find people that have money invested in 50, 100 doors and you become the asset manager, and boom, just another, you probably can do this, I'm guessing too. We'll talk about it later, another video. You
know what though? I need to actually start breaking it down like this from now on. You just made me think of something.
Start writing note on all the topics.
Cash value. Think of it, life insurance cash value, like equity in your home.
But it's quicker.
You put down 100 grand or you put down 20%. That's your bulk in there. Now you're making your monthly mortgage to keep the home, but it's building equity and you can borrow from it. That's exactly how cash value works in insurance.
So when investors give me money, I go and put it in this fund.
Yeah.
And then I borrow against it.
Yeah. And you don't have to drop 100 grand into it, but some people do like to because they're like, I'd rather have that money in there.
Why not drop like 300, pull out?
Put as much as you want.
How much can you pull out 300 against it? Yeah,
the first year, so here's how it works. The first year you drop money in there, depending on the company you go with, you can pull out up to 85 to 95%, depending on the company.
First year.
The first
12
year.
Months?
The
or
first
like right away.
The first year. But you can't pull it all right back out because the company.
80 to 90% the first year. Like the next day.
Like 85% the first year. Day. The second year you can pull out, like up to 95% or whatever, which is still a lot. But like I say, you want that money to sit there for a while and kind of nest and grow. You don't put all your money in the bank in that. You still have your money you play with, but this is just your new savings account.
Oh, I play.
And then once that starts to grow, if you go, you know what, I'm going to pull 100 grand out of this, go put it in here. it's not considered income. I don't have to deal with it on my taxes. And then once that money makes all of its money, I'm just going to go put it right back. But that 300,000 that's now 330, 347, as it's growing, when you put the money back, it never stopped growing. That's the nice thing. So
you're borrowing your own money and you're giving yourself insurance. Patrick Bet-David,
you are your own bank at that point.
I saw him explain what insurance is for. Poor people. Basically, you should have $40 to $50 a month to get life. Everybody should get life insurance, right?
Yeah.
But these kind of things are for people that have more money that want to against taxes. So when I have a bunch of properties and if I die, so it's not guaranteed. So if I live forever and I'll never have to use it, but
But that's a nice thing too. Living benefits inside of a life insurance plan. If you have a $5 million life insurance plan and tomorrow you, God forbid, heart attack, stroke, disabled, and now you're like, whoa, all my money's going to these resources now. You can tap into your death benefit while you're alive if you have a major condition. You have a $5 million policy and you want to pull $1 million because you had cancer, you got cancer.
Or something? Yeah. Well,
you can pull that money out, go get the best treatment, keep all your shit running. You know, if there's a major crash or whatever it is, you can keep all your shit running. If you have a heart attack and you can't work for a while or you got to pay someone to step in, I had a heart attack and they'll allow me up to 25% of my death benefit. Okay, well,
making my heart hurt.
Give me 500 grand because I need it. And then if you do die, they just take it out of the death benefit and your family, your beneficiaries get the rest.
That's awesome.
But that's why I always tell people, originally life insurance was to use while you were alive. Now it's just known as like death benefit, death insurance. But it's like, no, the right companies, if you have cancer, heart attack, stroke.
Affleck. It's kind of like, similar.
Yeah, except Affleck sucks.
Thank you for saying that. I just like the duck.
Yeah. But that's how it works though. So I always tell people, so if you're a business owner or you have a huge construction company, or you have multiple guys or you have a key man that you're like, I can't do this without this dude. If this guy dies, I got to replace him. I need $1 million to replace this dude tomorrow.
Or my voice. I heard I could put insurance on my voice since I talk for a living.
You got hand models that have insurance. You got everything. Insurance is literally everything.
You can do that too?
No, I can't do that. That's a different type of insurance. That's a different type of insurance.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. But that's the big thing. So like, as a business owner, my family relies on me. 10 employees rely on me. And tomorrow I have a heart attack, stroke, become disabled, whatever it is. My income just kind of slowed down. I got people relying on me. I can take money from my life insurance. And you can do anything you want with it. It's not like, it has to go to hospital bills no, I can do anything I want with it. I've had people that have had cancer and, they pull out a couple $100,000 because even with health insurance, your cancer bill is still like $100,000. They go to a different state. They still pay their mortgage. They keep their company running. They get better treatment and they're better way faster. Wow. And then they go right back to what they were doing. And they don't have to pay that money back. It was collateral. It's good debt versus bad debt, basically.
Yeah, 100%. That's good, man. I like it. So
there's a lot you can do with it. We'll have to do a separate one on that later. But
hey, what do we say? 2 weeks, bro? We're coming back?
Let's do it like every 2 weeks, man.
All right. This is good, bro. You got some good knowledge, bro. Dropping some bombs.
Yeah, because I got a lot of guys that do investments, especially in real estate. And they're like, I want to grow my money somewhere, but I can't put it in the market because if the market tanks and I need that money the next day, it's not there. Or when I pull that money, it's taxed. So what's the point? But long-term, the markets are great. Like long-term, you just let it sit. Your money's, I think the average is like 6 to 10% or whatever it might be. That's great long-term. It's not good to be a bank with, though, to put that money in and out. Use it as collateral, have collateral loan assignments. There's a lot of shit you can do with life insurance.
I look forward to hearing more about it next time, man. This is great. Yeah. Some great knowledge, dude. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here, by the way, man.
I'm going to put your links down below, too, so they can click all your stuff. I'm going to put all your links below. Anything to wrap this up? Any
I look forward to
special
2
quotes?
weeks. Man, that's a good special quote.
Sorry, I just started.
You just started through. I'll give you one. The one is, how you do anything is how you do everything. I've been teaching my kids that for a while.
Yeah.
So do everything with excellence.
Yeah. Samurai style, dude.
I like that, bro. Samurai.
All right, Marshall. All right, you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Appreciate it.
We're out.